Hello, the following presentation is brought to you by Corey with Creative Habitats Landscaping. I'm up at the Sportplex 4 or 5 days a week, and I know you've got an amazingly new pickleball court. You're going to be getting a new pool, and there's going to be more and more people coming into the Sportplex. And of course, this Roundabout is one of the most dominant first impressions that people have when they go into the Sportplex. So I am a landscape designer, and I do what a landscaper designer does, which is design. So let me take you on a tour of my ideas on this. So as we look through this, this is the backside. We see there's a lot of very prickly yucca thorns on them. I'd love to get rid of those. Up front, you can see that a lot of your sign is covered up. The landscape plantings in here are not very symmetrical. There's a lot of ideas that I can share with you on this of how to improve it. So the first thing that I would recommend doing is cleaning this area out so that you start with a new slate. Next thing, let's make it look amazing. We'll start out by adding just some plants. This is emerald green arborvitae that would frame the sign, make the sign more visible, and then we start adding some color and interest to it. Let me describe to you what you're looking at. Now, all of these plants are not in bloom at the same time. So what I'm showing you tends to be a little bit loud. There is a progression of blooms throughout the season of these different plants. Also, if we go around the back side, I have a whole totally different concept on this as well. The Sportplex is a very friendly and inviting place. People stop in at the front counter, and I thought, since you have someone coming out every day to change the flag on this flagpole, what if, along with that, on their journey back, they were able to bring some cut flowers with them? Now, if they never cut any flowers, that does not matter. The foliage on the plants that I've spec'd in this job still looks beautiful and attractive. It will provide a lot of color in this landscape, but there is the added option to add an additional layer of beauty and friendliness to the front desk by having these cut flowers in here. So I'll show you photos of what those look like in the following presentation. So zooming in, we have one, these are the emerald green arborvitae. Two, we have a lower growing flower that is in front of the sign. Three, just sort of a hedge that holds all this together. Four, a very low planting, and then five, we start getting into our cut flowers. This is what emerald green arborvitae looks like. It's an evergreen, and I call it a what you see is what you get plant. Whether it's 20 degrees or 120, this is what it looks like. The flowers, in other words, these guys right here, there's a number of different selections that would work well in that position. This is black-eyed Susan. Another option would be purple coneflower. Another option, lantana. Lastly, daylilies. Any of these would work well in that location of flowers in front of the sign. As we move to the band around the base of it, you could go boxwood, and let me just go review with you on that. That's this guy right here. Boxwood would work well. Dwarf yaupon would work well. Or if you wanted to have some color in there, a dwarf camellia would also work well. When we move to the curb, the lowest possible point, Firewitch dianthus is a great ground cover. It's evergreen, and what that means is when it's not in bloom, like what you see here, you have this really interesting blue-green color to it. But this is a welcoming flower, early spring. It blooms like this for about a month, and the rest of the time it will leave the blue-green foliage. I installed this last year at Yarborough Farms, and it's just performed really, really well. This is Firewitch dianthus. As we move around to the cut flowers, this is amaryllis. A lot of people think this only blooms at Christmas. That's simply because it's forced. It is normally a summer bloomer. Whenever it's not in bloom, it still has really attractive looking foliage to it. But this is a plant that we like to bring into our office from our fields. Blooms like what you see, really, really beautiful. Just another shot of some different varieties of what amaryllis can look like. The next plant, these are the amaryllis. Then we move to the calla lilies. Calla lily is just an extraordinary plant. Again, I brought this into my home as a cut flower. I brought some to my wife and thought that she had changed them out after about a month. They looked like they were plastic. Nope, they were real, and it was the original ones that I'd had in our home for over a month. And they too come in some different colors. And then another final very popular cut flower is gladiolus. We have grown these in our field, and they are a great addition to bring in and have in an arrangement. So just pointing your attention to some of these other islands. I didn't do a drawing for these, but if you're interested in following up with me on the sign, then I'd love to come up with some ideas for you on that. But again, this is what you're looking at right now, and this is what you could be looking at. My name is Corey Osteen. I'm with Creative Habitats Landscaping. My direct number is 334-319-4223. That is 319-4223. Call me. I'd love to talk with you further about this project. Thank you so much.